Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Thursday, June 12th, 2025. That is 5 years and a few months since we came together for the first time because we felt so alone. And the response to that is no, no, we don't have to be alone. And we're not alone. What a gift it is to be able to say, as Cecile just did, Hineni, I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here because I need to be here. What a gift it has been for 1,322 consecutive weekdays just to know that we are not alone. We're together. We can say Boker Tov, a good day. We are where we are. We are who we are. We don't have to conform to being the same as each other to know that we belong to each other. And what a gift that is. Penny, it's good to see you. Neil and Kate, Emily, welcome. Dave and Marcia, Arlene, Debbie, it's good to see you. Deborah and Cheryl, Boker Tov, Natalie and Barry, Karen, it's good to see you. Let's see who else is here. Kim and Angela, Barbara and Andrew. Good morning. Peter, sending love. Hope that you all are safe and well. There's a lot happening in this world, and I don't want to leave any of it behind. If there is something happening in your life that you'd like to share with the community, you don't have to, but you are invited to. We are truly here for each other, and I hope that we will take advantage in the most beautiful of ways of the opportunity we grant each other to say, hi, I'm a person. Here's what's happening. Let's see who else is here. Lydia and Adele, good morning. Jerry and Marilyn. Deborah, yes, me too. I'll be saying something about that. Karen, Boker Tov, Ron and Minna. Kristen and Sandy, good morning. Good to see you here. Kim Mazel Tov, you deserve all the celebration of your leadership for all you give and all you are. Friends, Kim Hartman has been part of this community, this online community, since it began and is a leader for longer than that. She deserves a lot of appreciation. You got it from me, friend. Judy, good to see you. Joyce, welcome. Let's see who else is here. Joyce and Robin. Robin, you just came back from the JFNA NWP meeting. Stronger together. Amen. Rabbi Cantor Risa, welcome. Ivan, welcome, welcome. Adrian and Dave, Jack and Carol, good to see you. All right, let's get started, everyone. There's a lot to say. Last thing I'll share, two things. One of them is Lydia is going to Israel on Sunday with your daughter. That is unbelievable. Minna, your granddaughter's 30th birthday. She was my daughter's counselor at Ramah, that's true. And Grace on Instagram is sharing, she just found out that she's pregnant, due in January. We say B'Sha'a Tova. Everything should happen at the right time and beautifully for you. That is wonderful, wonderful. We celebrate you. Okay, let's take a breath, everybody. Sing a bracha, learn some Torah. So good to be together. Good morning, everyone. Shout out that Kim offered to my colleagues, our beloved friends, Kim Fish and Lori Kalinsky, who are professionals at UJA, who support all the amazing work of our lay leaders. We share so much. I also wanted to say, of all the leaders that I could also celebrate, Judy Kaftala sharing, only Judy could do this, is with us in our community as she has been learning through the years every morning, but she is also on a Zoom with CIHS. And if you don't know what that is, it is a commitment that we as a New York Jewish community make for our Holocaust survivors. CIHS stands for the Community Initiative for Holocaust Survivors. And we, friends, know that these are the years that matter most. There are, I think, approximately 13,000 Holocaust survivors still living in the New York area. We are loving them and will treat them with respect. And the next 10 years or so will be our chance to do the right thing for them, to treat them with love and kindness and respect. And so if you hear about things, opportunities right now through UJA or beyond to be present for survivors, this is the time. Let me jump right into the Parsha and then make a comment about our moment. I hope that you and yours are safe and well. If you're in Los Angeles, I hope that you are safe and taking good care of yourself and opening your doors wide and your hearts even wider for those in need. There is a feeling of uncertainty in the air right now, and I hope that this Torah teaching points to the values that we need to reinforce, to cultivate within ourselves, and certainly within the United States. I also can't possibly begin this morning's Torah without mourning the loss of more than 200 human beings in an Air India crash. A jet hit a campus of a medical college very close to where it was taking off. It was headed for London. This just happened, and so we don't have complete information, but our hearts are broken for them. And let's make sure that we pay very, very close attention beyond the tribal stuff that we talk about all the time. And among the things, again, that I want to make sure that I start with, there's so much happening, is to bless the memory of Yair Yaakov. Yesterday, Yair, who had been murdered in captivity on October 7th and his body held for 614 days. His body was brought home, as was the body of one other hostage, and we don't know the name of the other person. Their family has been notified. I want to say something about Yair Yaakov. His two young sons, Or and Yagil, were also kidnapped on October 7th, held for 52 days. His partner, Meirav, was held for 53 days. Yair worked in a garage on his kibbutz, and there are beautiful, sweet videos of him dancing. He was known as a loving human being. May his memory be blessed. May our 53 beloveds who are still being held be freed. May we be able to gather them into our arms, to help those in need of healing, and to treat with respect those who are no longer in this world. There are 53 hostages that have been held now for 615 days, and we have work to do. The rest of the world is important too, but these are our beloveds, and we have to be for them. In that way, let me make the pivot, though it's a rough one, to the Parsha, because in this week's Parsha, and I owe the inspiration for some of these thoughts to Rabbi Tali Adler from Hadar. In this week's Parsha, we witness the last conversation between Moshe and his father-in-law. We often call his father-in-law Yitro. That's how the Torah refers to him, but his name is also known as Chovav. And Chovav is a beautiful, beautiful name. It means beloved, like chiba, like a hug, warmth. Moshe begs Chovav, his father-in-law, not to leave. Now, if you remember about Yitro/Chovav is the priest of Midian. His daughter Tzipporah and Moshe marry, and their sons Gershom and Eliezer. Yitro rejoins Moshe and Bnei Israel and the Israelites after they leave Egypt, before Sinai. In fact, the Torah portion of Revelation at Sinai is called Yitro. This is the last conversation they have. Now, remember the first moment that Yitro and Moshe share. It is too much for Moshe. He feels overwhelmed, and he sits and stands all day hearing the cases between the people when they have a claim against each other. And Yitro looks at it and, given his own wisdom and life experience as a leader, says, Lo tov, it's not good. Don't do that. You will exhaust them. You will exhaust yourself. Share the power. And Moshe immediately listens. And that's actually one of the origins for the judicial and appellate system that many countries have, including the United States. Sharing power is no simple thing, especially in uncertain moments. But in fact, that's what a good leadership structure does. That's what good leaders know they are called to do. It's not about enforcing one person's position, it's about being present and sharing and knowing that you can't be everyone's answer. And that actually is a really important thing, because in this week's Parsha, Moshe says to his father-in-law, we are setting out for the place of which God has said, I will give it to you. Come with us, Moshe says, and we will be generous with you. God has promised to be generous with us. That's chapter 10, verse 29 of the book of Bamidbar. Now, Yitro says no. Vayomer elav lo elech, I will not go. Ki im el artzi ve'el moladati elech. No, I'm going back to my native land. Yitro, for all of his love for his family, and it seems very clear that Yitro loves his son-in-law Moshe, and Moshe clearly relies on his father-in-law. It's a precious relationship that if we were only so blessed, think about the world where families had that kind of love and respect, spoke about what they need. Moshe tries one more time, and he says, please don't go. This is verse 31 to 32 of chapter 10. Inasmuch as you know where we should camp in the wilderness, be our eyes. V'hayita lanu le'enayim. It's so tender. If you come with us, we will extend you the same bounty that God grants us. And I want to point out something very simple about this. It might not actually be that simple. Rabbi Tali Adler points this out, and it is a brilliant observation. Notice the language that Moshe uses when trying to get Yitro to stay. He's trying to get his father-in-law, again, also known as Chovav, to stay. Please don't leave us, inasmuch as you know where we should camp in the wilderness, and you can be our guide. If you come with us, we will extend to you the same bounty that God grants us. How many times does it say us and we? And how hard it is sometimes to say me, I. Rabbi Adler points out that in Moshe's request to his father-in-law not to leave, there's one thing he does not do. He doesn't say, please don't leave me. And I know that might be more modern psychoanalysis than the Torah expects, and perhaps more than the verses require. But when it comes to the exercise of power and the very local way that we relate to each other, especially those that we love, how important it is for us to understand that the courage it requires to say, I need you, is rewarded. First of all, with an acknowledgement of vulnerability, I am more present in my relationships. And think about how that looks when leaders do that. I need. Don't leave me. If leaders were in touch with their own vulnerability, how would that shift their exercise of power? Immediately after Chovav leaves, despite Moshe's entreaty, despite his request that he stay, the verses say this. This is chapter 11, verses 11 to 15 in Bamidbar. Moshe says to God, think about the change in tone immediately. Why have you dealt ill with your servant? Why have I not enjoyed your favor, that you have laid the burden of all this people upon me? Did I produce all these people? Did I engender them, that you should say to me, carry them in your bosom? as a caregiver carries an infant to the land that you have promised on oath to their fathers? Where am I to get meat, to give all this people when they whine before me and say, give us meat to eat? I cannot carry all this people by myself, for it is too much for me. If you would deal thus with me, kill me rather, I beg you, and let me see no more of my righteousness. Sorry, let me see no more of my wretchedness. The shift is so intense. When Moshe is speaking to his father-in-law, he says us and we. When he's hurting, I don't want to point to Moshe with judgment. He's hurting. And that's when we say I, me. And how true that is about us as human beings, all of us. We know from the very origins of humanity, God observes about us, lo tov heyot adam levado. It's not good for a person to be alone. We know that. And what a gift. It's difficult, but what a gift it is to be able to say, I need you. I'll be lonely without you. I can't do this alone. What an amazing, beautiful thing to say. I want to offer you the wisdom of Rabbi Adler for us to close with. But before I do that, I ask you to imagine what this world would look like, what the United States of America would look like, if our leadership were able to say and had been taught to say, I can't do this alone. I am not everything. Only with you. Personal, loving, warm, wisdom beyond myself. Only with you can I see clearly. Be my eyes, not our eyes. Help me see. I need you. This community, our online loving morning Torah community, for 1,322 days, has been a place where we all show up. And I am so blessed to be one of us, to be able to say things that are personal, as I know you do too. In this strange platform here on Instagram and Facebook, we truly, truly acknowledge that we need each other. That's why we began this thing. And when we see each other in person, I hope when you see each other in person, you acknowledge it. It is important to acknowledge that I am not everything. And you know that about yourselves too. We help each other see better, especially when we acknowledge that we need the help. This is how Rabbi Adler ends her piece. You can find it on the Hadar website, and I encourage you to look up everything she writes. She is an unbelievable teacher of Torah. All too often, she writes, through choice or through negligence, we speak past each other, unable to say the words we really mean, or that the other person needs to hear. Like Moshe, we might speak in terms of material wealth. We will share our bounty with you, when the conversation at hand is really about relationship. We might say, don't leave us, because it is simply too frightening to say, don't leave me. And all too often, we refuse to listen for the meaning behind someone else's words, to hear the need they feel unable to articulate, to answer the unspoken request. Every conversation is a choice. We can choose to speak past each other, to speak in cold professional terms when what a conversation demands is the personal. We can hide behind the comfort of the plural us, when what we really mean is me. May we, Rabbi Adler writes, choose to say the words we mean even when those words are as frightening as, please don't leave me. I end with those words and a prayer. There are 53 remaining souls. And I know that those who are still alive agree with Rabbi Adler. But they have no problem because of their circumstance saying, don't leave me. Yair Yaakov is home and will be buried with respect. Another human being who was held for 614 days brought him home. We must bring them all home now. Because they're all saying, and just like Chovav could have helped Moshe be Moshe's eyes, we have to be their mouths. So let me say it differently than I've said it 615 days in a row. Imagine the face of one of the Chatufim and Chatufot, one of the hostages, and just say it for them once today. Bring me home. Bring me home. With this wisdom, with this very difficult wisdom, friends, that we learn from Chovav, we learn from Moshe, we learn from Rabbi Adler, and we must learn well enough to articulate ourselves. We need each other, and when that need is as dire as the needs of our beloved 53, we must be their voices. So don't get quiet. Get louder, more impassioned, empathetic. Do not close your heart. Even if this world is hard, do not close your heart. Say it one more time with me. On behalf of one of the Chatufim, one of the hostages, bring me home. Send your hearts with me, friends. Let's sing. Kol hod balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.